This is Fundamental Problem 45 from Chapter 12. Car A is traveling with a constant speed of 80 kilometers per hour due north, while car B is traveling with a constant speed of 100 kilometers per hour due east. Determine the velocity of car B relative to car A. Well, equation 1234 says the velocity of car B, or the velocity of B, is equal to the velocity of A plus the velocity of B with respect to A. We're asked to find the velocity of B with respect to A, so we can plug into this equation, and all we have to do then is bring the VA over to the other side, and that will give us the velocity of B with respect to A, and that's equal to the velocity of B minus the velocity of A. And I'm going to use rectangular coordinates here, and the velocity of car A is what? Due north, so we're going to call that the y direction, so that's 80 kilometers per hour in the j hat direction, and the velocity of car B is, we're going to say, in the positive x direction, so that's 100 kilometers per hour in the I hat direction. Well, we plug that in, and we get 100 I hat minus 80 j hat with units of kilometers per hour. And that is the answer. That is the velocity of car B with respect to A. But I suspect if you look at the answer in the back of the book, they're going to give you a magnitude and a direction. So for practice, let's just say the magnitude of the velocity of B with respect to A would be equal to the square root of 100 squared plus negative 80 squared, which is the same as 80 squared, and that would be 128 kilometers per hour. And the angle is going to be the inverse tangent of y, which is negative 80 divided by the x component, which is 100. This gives us negative 38.7 degrees, and then you have to figure out what quadrant that is in. If it's in the second or third quadrant, you'd have to add 180 degrees to the answer that your calculator gives you. If the x component is positive and the y component is negative, this is in the fourth quadrant, and you could add 360 degrees to this if you wanted to give your angle between 0 and 360. But I think we'll leave it just like this, and you can draw something like this to show that the angle is in the fourth quadrant, which is what they typically do in the textbook. Or let's say this. The velocity is 128 kilometers per hour at positive 38.7 degrees, but then show that it's in the fourth quadrant using this. And that concludes Fundamental Problem 45.